I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna read from Mark, Saint Mark chapter 5. There were some things that was on my mind. I guess the Most High gave me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna read a couple of verses. I'm gonna start at verse 1, and I'm gonna read probably all the way to verse 18, probably, just to get enough context to show you. It's been on my mind, and I'm gonna be. I tell you what. Let me just read it, and then I'll explain it after I read it. It says, "And they came over unto this other side of the sea, unto the country of Gennesaret, Gennesaret. And when he was come out of the ship, that's verse 2, immediately there met him a met him out of the tombs, a man with an unclean spirit, who had his dwellings amongst the tombs, and no man could bind him, no man, no, could bind him, no, with not with chains, because that he had been often bound with feathers and chains, and the chains had been plucked asunder by him, and the feathers broke in pieces. Neither could any man tame him. They couldn't calm him. They couldn't entertain this man. You know, like, let me finish reading, then I'm going to explain this here. No man could tame him. And always, night and day, he was in the mountains. He was in the mountains and in the tombs, crying and cutting himself with stones. But when he saw Jesus afar off, he ran and worshiped him, and cried with a loud voice, and said, What have I to do with thee, Jesus, thou Son of the Most High God? I adjure thee by God that thou torment me not. For he said unto him, Come out of the man, thou unclean spirit. And he asked him, What is thy name? And he answered, saying, My name is Legion, for we are many. Now they say legions in the Roman language consists of 3 to 5,000 men. I read it in the Great Controversy. 3 to 5,000 men. Legions of people, like backup, like people that's committed to that doctrine, the Roman doctrines and stuff like that. All right. And he sought him much, verse 10, that he would not send them away out of the country. Now there was there nigh unto the mountains a great herd of swine feeding, and all the devils besought him, saying, Send us into the swine, that we may enter into them. And Jesus, and forthwith Jesus gave them leave, and forthwith Jesus gave them leave, and the unclean spirits went out and entered into the swine, and the herd ran violently down a steep place into the sea. They were about 2,000 and were choked in the sea. 2,000 demons. That's a lot of demons, man. And they that fled, that they that fed the swine fled and told it in the city and the country, and they went out to see what it was that was done. And they came to Jesus, seeing him that was possessed with the devil, and had the legions, sitting and clothed in his right mind, and they were afraid. And they that saw it told them how it before to him that was possessed with the devil, and also concerning the swine. And they began to pray him to depart out of their coast. And when he was come unto the ship, that he that had been possessed with the devil prayed him that he might be with him. Howbeit Jesus suffered him not, but said unto him, Go home to thy friends, and tell them how great things the Lord had done for thee, and he had compassion on thee. And he departed and began to publish and and the and Deophilus how great things Jesus had done for him, and all men did marvel. That's supposed to mean they was quiet. All right. What I want to say to that is this. Just because you grow up with somebody, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have a relationship with them. Let's go back to this. Um, Notice it says, and when he was come unto the ship, that he that had been possessed with the devil prayed him that he might be with him. Howbeit Jesus suffered. Okay, wait a minute. Let's look at. I think I'm trying to find the point. And they came to Jesus, and went forth. Jesus gave them leave, and the unclean spirits. Okay, I just read that. And when he was come unto the ship that had been possessed with the devil, prayed him that he might be with him. And howbeit Jesus suffered him not, but said unto him, Go to thy. Okay, here we go. I think this is it. It says in Mark 5, verse 6, but when he saw, let's start right here in verse 5. And always night and day, and he was in the mountains and in the tomb crying and cutting himself with stones. But when he saw Jesus afar off, he ran and worshiped him. And it said when he saw Jesus afar off, he ran and worshiped him and cried with a loud voice and said, What have I to do with thee, Jesus, thou son of the most high God? I adjure thee by God, thou shalt I adjure thee by God that thou torment me not. For he said unto him, Come out of the man, thou unclean spirit. And he asked him, What is thy name? And he answered and said, My name is Legion, for we are many. Okay. Now, demons can recognize something good, but just because they recognize that you're something good, demons don't care. Now, of course, God can command the demon. When you pray, He protects us from the demons. Of course, He'll protect you from getting hurt by demons or whatever. But just because, all right, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to tie it into this. Just because you grow up with somebody, they may know you're a good person, and you say they recognize you, and they say, "Hey, you remember me? We both grew up in the same neighborhood. We played ball together, or whatever." You know what I'm saying? And you pick up in your spirit that they really is just fucking fake. Just because they acknowledge who you are and they grew up with you and they know you and they know you got a good spirit about yourself, they don't fake people, fake demons that are fake don't care anything about you. Mm-mm. They don't care whether they being fake. They know they don't mean well towards you. Yeah, they don't care nothing about that. They are just, and you can be talking to them for a few minutes. That don't mean that they really care nothing about you because they grew up with you. They might have just acknowledged that they knew you. Just because somebody acknowledged that they know you doesn't mean that they give a damn. You know how you meet people like, yeah, man, I remember we grew up together, man. How you been doing? Yeah, you doing all right? Yeah. Yeah, how's the family? All right, okay, all right. You can tell, you can pick up they being dry with you. And you be like, man, this conversation ain't going nowhere. They fake as hell. And even though they ain't seen you in years. Excuse me. Yeah. So just because the demons acknowledge who God was, that didn't mean that he had a relationship with him because he knew who God was before God healed him. He automatically knew who God was. Yeah. Just because you grew up with somebody doesn't necessarily mean you know them. You can think you know them, but you don't. You can be the it from the same table. Yeah. Demons don't care nothing about, you know what I'm saying? They don't care nothing about the Most High. They don't care nothing about me, you. If you actually trying to serve the Most High, so you know what? I'm gonna go ahead on. I'm gonna finish this video off in the morning. I think I fell asleep in this video. I hope it don't look too bad. I slept at the end. So Mark chapter 5, verse 1. I was quoting from there. People can acknowledge that they know you just because they say, well, they'll say, well, at least they spoke to you. Some people ain't gonna do that, but yeah, at least they spoke. What does that mean? And you still can be the damn devil. Didn't the devil acknowledge who God was? Did he have a relationship with the Most High? We all know that he didn't. Just because people teach and preach about I'm my brother's keeper, does that mean that they're actually a brother's keeper? We all know that answer to that. Everybody that's riding on the highway doesn't mean they give a damn about the next driver. We all know this. Yeah. Didn't the devil acknowledge who Christ was? You damn right he did. Does that now, even though he acknowledged the Son of God, did he care about God? Just because he acknowledged his name? He knew his face, he knew his face. The devil didn't care nothing about that. Just because somebody know your name and ask you do you remember them doesn't mean that they are genuine towards you. You know? Anybody can do that. People can acknowledge certain things, but that doesn't mean that they care. So I'm up out of here. Just because a person acknowledge and admit that they know you doesn't mean they care. I'm out.